Right. One of the points brought up here is that it depends on the quality of life, and the quality of life is incorporated into this movement for indefinite life extension. That's what it's about. It's about removing the damage that aging accumulates within your body, so that way you remain youthful and vibrant and healthy. That's how you're gonna live indefinitely. You're gonna not have the buildup of damage that ages you to death inside your body. So you're just gonna keep on living. You'll still be able to die, get hit by a truck or something, catch a rogue disease. But the point is that it gives you the choice to try to continue on or not. And I see one of the main points here is how is trying to convince people based on how far away some people say these therapies are. Like how far will it be until the research gets here? And it's not really about that. I mean, people can throw out numbers and they might be right or not. Aubrey says 20 years to the next breakthrough. Kurzweil says something else. I don't know, 30. There's an organization, Max Life. They say they can do it by 2029, I think. And I've seen lots of different researchers and people give different numbers, and that's all great and all. They might be right, but the most accurate way to describe when these therapies get here, when indefinite life extension might happen, is that it gets here in direct proportion to the collective speed at which the world goes to get there. We don't know, it gets here on day X, and we don't know when day X is. That could be 1,000 years from now, it could be 100 years from now, it could be 1 year from now. We don't know, but we do know that it gets here in direct proportion to the collective speed at which the world goes to get there. We have to go all in. We have to go there and see how far away it is. We can't afford to not put everything into this because we think that it might take 1,000 years. Because if we just sit back and do nothing, we might have wasted the opportunity to get it done in 20 years or 15 or 50 years or whatever. We have to go and make it happen as fast as we can, of course with care along the way. There are plenty of organizations that already handle those things, like Lifeboat, IEET, and a bunch of other ones. And another question is, that we haven't even scratched the surface on the ifs, ands, and buts. And believe me, we've well scratched the surface on the ifs, ands, and buts. There's facts around the internet. I know there's at least 3, but I've probably seen 5 or 10. There's probably many out there. There's one at Longevity. There's a fact there. There's one at Sens. Pretty sure there's one at Methuselah Foundation still. I'm pretty sure there's one at Max Life. These facts go over all of these questions, and they're not such bad questions, but they're not any. They've been rebutted. Basically, this is about life. Losing life is a big problem. If you think those other things are problems, they're nothing compared to people obliterating left and right. Like, there's 100,000 people are obliterating for eternity every single day. You think that, population is a challenge? Obliteration is a challenge. If we can stop obliteration, then, challenges like population or getting these therapies from the rich are going to be a cakewalk by comparison. A cakewalk. If we can figure out the intricate, complexity of our biology and extract indefinite life extension from them in a world effort, we're definitely not going to let something like population or the rich hoarding it stop us. And just quickly here, with population, we actually find that there's an underpopulation challenge. So I'll ask the same question: what are we going to do about underpopulation? We find that in industrialized countries, population is actually on a decline when you subtract immigration. When it comes to the rich hoarding it, things start off expensive. Cell phones were thousands of dollars in the 80s, and now kids in third world countries have cell phones. The rich are actually doing us a favor by being the first to have these therapies because they're testing them out. They're the guinea pigs of sorts. and we innovate and improve them from there, and the price goes down. And if something happens along the way, like somebody wants to hoard them, then we can work on that problem from there. But first we have to get it extracted from ourselves. And let's see, another part of this is I don't the guy says, I don't even think these treatments are possible. you know I forgot, I think I meant to say, I'm not saying and then, he says, I don't even think these treatments are possible, and then later on he says, I'm not saying it's impossible. Well, which one is it? Is it possible or impossible? It seems like there, I do the same thing sometimes. I'm not blaming anybody, but it seems like there's contrarianism going on here. I want to shoot that down for the sake of it. People, there's lots of great quotes about the impossible. And one of them is the impossible is often, the people that say it's impossible are often interrupted by the people doing it. The future is coming on fast. Things keep getting better and better. It's hard to imagine that these things, aren't going to happen. When I was a kid, we joked about a future with cell phones and things like internet, and look, now they've got the first civilian flights into space. You see in the news they got invisibility and hoverability. They're working on that, and they're making ground with these things. I mean, anything. It seems like anything that we can conceive, we truly can do. Somebody please name for me one thing that we can conceive of that we can't do. That's what humans do. That's what we've been doing for centuries. We just keep on moving up. Language, fire, industry, technology, communications era. And now here we are at the doorstep of a transhuman era, and it just doesn't seem like there's any stopping it.